Aloha, I'm Tashi Delay from Kauai Tibetan Buddhist Dharma Center here on the island of Kauai. We present this class every Thursday night, 6 to 8, and Zoom it. I'm Lama Tashi, and it's recorded and put on our website, kawaidharma.org. When we presented Tibetan tradition of shamanistic Lamaism, we're presenting all of the sutras, which are the teachings of the Buddha, preserved in the Indian and Tibetan tradition, and all of the Tantra, which results of all the practitioners, all the Lamish lineage holders, from the time of Shakyamuni Buddha 2,600 years ago, down to the present day. The tradition has spread worldwide, so this program is very appropriate. Not only for all the people that have come to Hawaii and specifically to Kauai and learned from the Lamas here and then gone back to their countries or places where they live in the mainland in Canada. But it's also appropriate because a lot of new people are connecting to the Dharma out of need for spiritual insight. Not just spiritual accomplishment, not just blessings, but actual insight into their own true nature and how to use it in compensation and as an antidote to their, we call, drama mind. When we present these classes, right from the beginning of people that take these instructions and start to practice them, they start to notice that everything gets better. And they also start to notice that they really do have two natures in their mind. And these two natures, all sentient beings have, but only humans can connect to the wisdom nature. And the wisdom nature is based on absolute truth of the situation that we find ourselves in, and also in the worldly activities that everybody's bound up in. So the worldly nature is called the relative nature. And when we say everybody has this, it's through their awareness. And so what we're talking about is using that awareness, which all of us have and use, from the worldly involvement, using judgment and emotionality to cause these conflicting emotions to rise in our stream of being and cause as much confusion and distort everything that we see, smell, taste, touch, and feel. But most importantly is to gradually move away from that to heartfelt confidence in the true nature being based on loving kindness and concern for the well-being of others and our worldly environment. Those two, the loving kindness, which is actually in the ultimate nature unconditional, and compassion, which is altruistic, that means everybody is included and is the purpose of all the practices that we do. And by doing that, you enter in from a very restricted mentality into a completely open and clear, infinite state of awareness that is appropriate on all levels of our being, physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So with that, we take refuge. The refuge in Tibetan Buddhism is based on the altruistic motivation, which we're going to read that prayer first. And this is the theme of everything that we do. In order to attain enlightenment, For ourselves and limitless sentient beings are mothers. We now all together take refuge in our own true nature and whenever possible, offer prostrations. So that altruistic motivation puts one at the moment of saying that prayer on the path of, we say, ultimate truth. And then all of how we are and what we are doing in the relative situation starts to slowly transform. And the negative inclinations dissipate and the positive ones become amplified. The second part of this is to take refuge in the 6 supports of Tibetan practice, which are, all Buddhists take refuge in the 3 jewels: the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. In our tradition, we equally include all the lamas and all the symbols of the lamas called the peaceful protector deities and dakini. So we have the 3 jewels and the 3 roots of Tantra. The prayer for that goes like this. We go for refuge to all the glorious holy lamas. We go for refuge to all the deities gathered in our Mandala practice. We go for refuge to all the Buddhas, those who have conquered the mind and gone beyond. We go for refuge to all this supreme Dharma. We go for refuge to all the noble Sangha. And we go for refuge to all the Dakas and Dakinis, who are the protectors and defenders of the Dharma. All 6 of these possess the mind of transcending awareness. Then we move into the actual practice of Bodhisattva training, which is everyone that's using this path to Buddhahood. To ultimately attain the realization of who and what they are and how to use that. And that goes like this. In the Buddha, Dharma, and this Supreme Assembly, we go for refuge until enlightenment. May I, through merit, gain from practicing the 6 Bodhisattva disciplines, called the 6 perfections, accomplish Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. Now you've stepped into the path of which there is no goal and no ceiling, and no need to take rebirth in any of the 6 emotional realms of samsara or nirvana. And the importance of this is that that's for everybody, everyone, all the humans, wherever they take birth on planets, all the animals, all the spirits in the entire universe, celestial spirits, demigod, war and war god spirits, deprived spirits, and demonic spirits. And of course, all in the human and animal worlds, wherever they take place. Then we chant this in Sanskrit, and we use the Sanskrit language to convey this to all the cultures and all the peoples of this planet, and specifically to the spirit world. So I'll chant the altruistic motivation, and then we'll all together take refuge and do the Bodhisattva prayer. First, the altruistic motivation. Dag dong dro wa nam ke da dong yam pe sem chem dam che du di ne ju te ji si cheng chu ning po la chi ki bardu. Then the sixth refuge prayer. Palden lama dampa nam la chap su chio. Yidam chokor gi latso nam la chap su chio. Sanjay chong dende nam la chap su chio. Tampe chur nam la chap su chio. Alpe Gandum Nam La Chapsu Chio. Pawo Kandro Chokyung Sume Sho Yeshe Ki Shendam Tempa Nam La Chapsu Chio. And the Bodhisattva prayer, Bodhicitta. Sanjay Chodam Choki Chodam La Jangchu Ardu Dagni Chapsuchi Dagi Jinso Jipe Sonam Ki Chola Penjer Sanjay Chupar Sho. It is many times as you can say the refuge prayer in English, Canadian, whatever language, and Sanskrit. And whatever time you can combine that prayer with prostration, fulfill your promise to attain Buddhahood for the sake of all sentient beings. That's the power of taking refuge and offering that prayer. The Bodhisattva prayer is all about practice. And the 6 practices of the Bodhisattva, we already do these. It's not something you have to make up. And we do these specifically using sutra and tantra practice so that we accomplish them on 2 levels. The worldly level, which we're already doing, we're already involved in, and the ultimate level of the higher awareness of our true nature, which takes it into a universal or infinite application. So when we say generosity is the first perfection, it's not only applied on the worldly level of giving goods and advice and all of that, helping people and alleviating their suffering, but it's applied on an infinite level of dealing with the pain and suffering of the other types of sentient beings, animals and spirit. The same goes for morality, ethics, and good manners. Morality is simply based on the idea that you're not to harm yourself, others, or the environment. And you mix that with ethics and good manners. So that's the second bodhisattva training. But on a higher level, you're offering the true nature of the realization of ultimate awareness and how to use it. As the mind, body, and speech of all the gurus, of all the lineages of Tibetan Buddhism, and all the other people of all the other traditions that have the same inclination. Number 3 is patience, dealing with ourselves, others, and the environment. 4, just diligence, perseverance, to keep these 3 in action day and night, 24/7. And of highest importance in practice is meditation. Learning to single-pointedly hold your focus on one thing. And how to bring your imagination in to accomplish what is useful and appropriate, not only for yourself, but others. And these five, with the intention to move into the higher states of your awareness, called insight, fulfill all of the spiritual needs necessary to take one into wisdom nature, realization, Buddhahood, however you define that, Mahamudra. Then with the guidance of the lamas and their empowering natures of body, speech, and mind, you start to gradually include the discipline of what they call the path of skillful means, which is how to create the mandalas complete with mantra, visualization, compassion, and insight into your daily situation. And you do that every day. And so we have these, we call peaceful deity practices based on Chenrezig and Tar. Tonight we're going to do the Tar, and I'll explain in a few minutes the absolute necessity of that to fulfill our need for good health, perfect health. Perfect health includes body, speech, and mind, but physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. When we do the practice of the deity, based on the six perfections being constantly in place, Bodhisattva training school, you move directly into your true nature. No fool around. And as long as you keep devotion, honor, and respect for your teachers and gurus in this tradition, no obstacles arise that cannot be transformed or become useful. So with that, we'll start the practice. The nature of the universe is the nature similar to our mother who created it. When I say our mother, I mean the mother who created your body and took these states that we're just talking about of unconditional love, generating her own body of the five elements to create your body out of those same five elements. That is ultimate generosity. And so everything in the universe is that principle, based on motherhood. All of the elements, earth, water, fire, air, and space, are the creation principle of everything. And actually even your thoughts. Anything you can think of, anything that appears, anything you're essentially involved with, anything you're emotionally involved, anyone or any relationship. So the mother principle we call Tara is the five elements. It's not something higher. It's not something superior or divine or supernatural. No, it's just another useful way of integrating that into our situation so that we become healthy and stay healthy and die healthy and go into the next world healthy, and on and on. So tonight we're going to start with what I consider the most important basic practice of the Hinayana Mahayana tradition, introduced by Kala Rinpoche to us here in Hawaii and to students around the world. Is based on the three lights Prana Yoga practice, which all the lamas teach in one form or another. We used to have a lama come to Hawaii. His name was Oli Naidal. And when he gave teachings and instruction on practice, he connected the three lights to his guru, Karmapa. And he gave that class with the Karmapa as the three lights entering into the people receiving that transmission. And it was so mind-boggling, mind-changing. I mean, the simplest kind of thinking could accept it. But when he would bring the Karmapa in, it was like this lineage master actually was present. And so when we use this 5 elements, 3 lights meditation in this class, it has that power. And healing starts right away, just with your breath, just by focusing on your breath. You know, martial arts is based on that. Tai Chi Chuan is based on that. All the chakra breathing practices. I could go on forever, but these 3 lights are your body, speech, and mind being brought into one place through the simple focus on your inhale, the absorption of the energy from that, which is all spontaneous, and your exhale, thinking that it goes to everybody. It pervades space as a healing energy accomplishment. So sit with your back straight, head tilted, mouth closed, eyes open, hands on your knees or in your lap, comfortable. And focus on your breath. Inhale, your diaphragm expands. Exhale, it contracts and the air goes out your nose or your mouth. That's it. Do that mindfully. Then for the development of compassion, power, and insight, we bring in the tantric breathing of the 3 lights. To do this, you simply visualize that the air you're inhaling into your lungs is the color of white light. The blazing life force, life support energy of the air itself, which contains all 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, space. Then you do the second breath is red light, which is simply the absorption breath of that energy through every cell and atom in your body. Then you combine those 2 and exhale blue light out your nose as a universal healing breath available to every living being and the environment of the world around you. like throughout infinite space. Inhale white light, fill your lung. The absorption breath, visualize red light flashing through your entire form. Bring these two codes together and exhale blue light out your nose to space. Available to infinite sentient beings inhabiting space. With the practice of this three lights prana yoga practice, you start to attain the first level of nirvanic accomplishment, which is simply to detach from the worldly events of the day and start to move into peace and tranquility, a state of consciousness that is all pervasive, but needs to be accessed mindfully. Once you notice yourself starting to settle, this becomes the platform for not only this five elements healing practice, but all of the practices of Sutra and Tantra in the Tibetan tradition. And it purifies nirvanic states of awareness. And that takes practice. So to start this practice of the five elements, bring the three lights of this breathing technique, this prana yoga practice, by mindfully visualizing white, red, and blue contracting into altogether into one tiny particle centered in your chest, in the central channel of your life force. Creating a bindu or chakra energy center that connects to all the light, the infinite light of the boundless fabric of space. And you hold your awareness, your focus there. Then you move from that state of spatial awareness By imagining or visualizing that tiny particle in your heart chakra to expand to a small sphere of clear light. And at that moment, you enter into the three-dimensional situation of our universal world. Keeping imagination and focus together, grow that small sphere of clear light into one of the symbols of the five elements. Tonight, we're going to use a half sphere of green light, the air element, imagining it about the size of our thumbnail, right in the center of our heart chakra. You see this half sphere with the lid of green light, and you label it air. In Tibetan, they use a word for gas, air being a symbol of that. Keeping your focus on that small half sphere, see it exit out the front of your body and up before your eyes, 2 feet in front. Then expand it in size so it completely encloses your physical form just as you are. Sitting inside this large bowl, air. With this healthy application of your mindfulness, now you begin to share it with the world around you by visualizing it expanding in size to completely enclose this island of Kauai, or the city, town, or a large area of where you're doing the practice. Then expand it in size to completely enclose Mother Earth, including her atmosphere of air. Expand it to include all the planets and the sun for billions of miles in diameter inside this symbol. Using imagination and focus, expand it in size to completely enclose our galaxy. It's only 100,000 light years in diameter. In a move again to the universal spatial application of space itself, boundless and with no center. Allowing the liberating awareness of your own consciousness to contemplate that space. Universal air becomes universal space. Stay present and relax and contemplate. No meditation. Then to continue the practice, return from this state of relaxed spatial awareness and again meditate on the half sphere enclosing our galaxy. Shrink it in size to just enclosing our solar system. Smaller and smaller, just enclosing Mother Earth. And much smaller to include your island, town, city, or area where you're doing this practice. Then condense it into just enclosing your physical form. Taking the full life force energy of the universe into your situation. The powerful psychic energy of your own mind for physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual good health. To finish the practice, bring the original small symbol of the air element to in front of your eyes. Drop it to chest level, bring it into your heart chakra. Shrink it in size to a small sphere and smaller till it reaches the infinitely small particle of energy itself. As it connects to the program of boundless space. Relax, be present, no meditation. Complete selfless awareness. Then bring that awareness to in front of your eyes and spread it into your place of practice. And dedicate the results of this spiritual practice to the benefit of all living beings. Break. as if you need a break. For good health, I'm drinking pomegranate juice. You can teach this practice to anyone, any age level. Grade school level, high school level, college level, corporate level. It has infinite possibilities. And for those that practice it and use it as a remedy for whatever situation they find themselves in their lifestyle, in the present situation of the planet today, socially speaking, it has good results. It's effective. The Hinayana path of Tibetan Buddhism, the word Hini means social. And the way the social system of the world is set up, it's always been based on gathering, coming together. And what are we gathering is the awareness of everything as nothing. So now we have a situation on the planet where in a lot of the social structures, gathering is not advisable. In fact, it's unlawful. And how did this happen? How did this worldly universal situation arise in our social structure is from us. Because in the process of doing this, we establish certain rituals of migration and moving through the new age of transportation wherever we felt like going. And this need to move is in our DNA is this social need to gather. But in the present situation of the planet being completely destroyed by us, intentionally destroyed by the human animals, is a first. And so we have to restructure our consciousness. Not to be independent, but in a state of gathering mentally. And in that way, the neediness and loneliness and the other afflictions of emotionality that arise from the judgmental, preoccupied self is transformed into just the opposite. And you can relax. You can be at ease with yourself and the natural world around you. And it's enforced by these practices because you're including the spirits. And the spirits control the weather. They control the viruses. They control disease. They control the element. I mean, we'd like to think we're the gods of creation. The mother principle exists on its own. They say, oh, Mother Nature is right. Well, Mother Nature is the five element. And the agitation that is occurring, even though it appears to be from all of our social structures in conflict, is from the spirits themselves. And so shamanistic traditions have been in place for all the tribes of the planet since humans took birth. But now we need to move into a higher state, a more powerful, conscious state of dealing with this so-called Mother Nature, which is the spirit world. And at the same time, keep the loving kindness of compassion for all the humans and all the animals in existence as part of the program. And this is where the peaceful deities, starting with Shenrezi and Tara, and the protector deities, which are the energy of the Buddha mind in action. So when we use the protector, we're talking about the application of your body, speech, and mind with its highest qualities and its most powerful ability to take on any situation that is not appropriate, that is harmful, that is causing pain and suffering, and deal with it directly in an appropriate way that gets appropriate result. And you don't have to believe this. This is not faith-based. This has actually been going on for thousands of years in the human condition on this planet, and probably forever on all the other planets in the universe. But what it does is it causes evolutionary process to continue. I mean, we've evolved from animals through the process in the natural world up to this time that way. This is scientific fact. You know, this is not based on divine supernatural beliefs. This is the way the universe works. Everywhere in the universe, here on this planet and everywhere. So what you're doing is you're entertaining that already in existence powerful situation as your practice, being the deity. And then when you get to a certain level of accomplishment in the deity, you turn it over to the deity to do the work, to do what, bring into your situation or whatever, what's appropriate, what'll heal it. And you don't have to be I, me, mine about it, because you're not doing it. Well, actually you are and you are not. Now we move beyond the boundaries of rationalization. Got to watch out for rationalizing, you know, like politics, like religion, like military, etc., rationalizing, very smart thinking, and so forth. The best state of consciousness is no thought. Ooh. Well, that would put a lot of professors out of business. I'm going to go to school of no thought. I'm going to pay high money for this. So, when we do these classes, we structure them on the deities of the peaceful tradition of Tibetan Buddhism, starting with the Sutra, which is the Hinayana, moving into the Mahayana, the altruistic motivation that what we're doing is for everybody and not just our own selves. And then from that Hinayana, Mahayana, Vajrayana development together, with the advice of the lamas, either as a homeowner, monk, nun, or yogi and yogini, whatever we are, how we find ourselves, moving into the mind of the lama of the true nature of your consciousness, which is all pervasive. It's called, this all pervasive nature is called the Dharmakaya. Dharma meaning wisdom, the wisdom vehicle. Because any human can think of anything. That's your all pervasive nature, it's just thinking. But then you tell me there's a state of no thought, which is even better. It doesn't compute. So you have to allow yourself to relax so that the understanding of that and its usefulness will arise in your stream of being. And you can't do that by yourself. It won't happen. So when you do the deity, my teacher, Kala Rinpoche, says, in my Dharma centers, you start with the two, Chenrezig and Tara, and build on those two deities all the structure of Sutra and Tantra, so that whatever kind of person presents itself interested in this tradition, in these practices, and wants to use them, can develop quickly, regardless of their tendency, their differences. And you don't have to be heady. You don't have to know everything about yourself. You don't have to know everything about the teachers. You don't have to know everything about the Sutra and Tantra tradition. You just trust through your own practice that you get the real results. So we're going to do the Tara practice tonight. And my girlfriend Tara is sitting right here next to me. And she's green in color. That's her latest complexion cosmetic appearance. And she does that because she's kind of the Prana yoga specialist, air quality Tara. But we also have the red Tara for the heat and fire and warmth element. And we have the gold Tara for the earth element. And we have the white Tara for the space element and blue Tara for the water element. Just like we have these 5 basic symbols of the 5 elements practice. But those 5 Taras, we call the elemental energy Taras, each have 21 qualities. And in Tibet, they chanted, and if you look on YouTube, it's on YouTube, the 21 Taras practice. It's a sutra. And it's incorporated into the green Tara practice in our tradition, but in other different color Taras. And some of the Taras have 4 arms, 6 arms, 8 arms, 16 arms. Some are sitting, some are standing, and so forth. But these 21 applications, apps, of each of those 5 elemental Taras is 105. And how are they applied to your body, speech, and mind? So we have a mala, 108 beads. It's a counter. And it might have the guru symbol on one of the beads, but the 21 taras times 5 is 105. What are the extra 3? Your body, speech, and mind, becoming 105 aspects of your elemental nature, that which your mother created you. Oh, wow, that's a lot. Yeah, but it goes even further because it has infinite applications. It's a universal system. The universe itself is infinite. Infinite defines what's uncountable, unimaginable, can't be rationalized. Oh, so let's do that. This text, this is a sutra text designed by the lamas for the women of this planet to dance the 21 Tara in each of their 5 flavors. Okay, so the mandala of the Tara is 105. And you can break that down into 4 individual 21 Tara groups. When you perform the dance, you perform it as the application of the elemental nature of that. And when you do it in practice, it can be done that way also. But when you want to do the 21 Taras, there's a green Tara text for that. And it's on YouTube. And it's sung very beautifully. And you can approach it that way. But what are these 21 apps? I think it's useful to know that even though the Tara practice itself eliminates all obstacles fast and transforms your limited judgmental mind into non-judgmental awareness fast, that you should know the qualities of the 21 Taras. Qualities. When you bring your body, speech, and mind into one place, these qualities arise naturally. The 5th aspect of body, speech, and mind in one place is called the Sambhoga Kaya. And when you have these qualities arise, that's the bliss energy of the Sambhoga Kaya, which becomes the Nirmana Kaya, inner teacher, your intuitive awareness aspect. Now, that one quality is one of the 21 Tara. It's the first one. It's called the wisdom aspect. And women, since they're already the female, that quality is available more and more accessible to women than to men. But wisdom, compassion, and power of your body, speech, and mind are causing these qualities to rise in 21 applications, just like on your cell phone, you got the apps. This is how we plug them in. What do you call it? The link? This is the link. The number 1, the body, speech, and mind developing compassion, power, insight based on unconditional love, altruistically applied. That's number 1. That's Tara, whatever color. She is called the liberator and swift achiever, and developing fearlessness as her base. And this state of fearlessness is in itself nirvana. Just that one app. This number 1 position is called swiftly achieving protection from obstacle. through her mantra and seed level and visualization as the practice. We'll get into that when we start the practice. Number two, the second act is this creative wisdom. She appears as the ultimate nature of 1,000 stars, as the understanding of who and what you are and how to use that. She is impeccable virtue, which means without any negativity, without any idea of a self or a soul or something going to some divine and supernatural state. None of that. She's always victorious, which is a great act. So you don't have to believe it, it just happens. Sometimes it takes a little longer than others, but it always happens. She understands sublime intelligence, which is that state of non-thought and non-self and no soul and all that, the other nature of your mind, which has no judgment, doesn't think things are good or bad, understands everything and how to use it, and most importantly, is not arrogant or self-defeating, the opposite of arrogant. Number 6, worthy of honor. So, inseparability of the Guru, the Lama teaching this, honor, respect, and support are all bound up in this one word, honor. But what is honorable means it's not harmful. It's healthy. Invincible courage, well, we're back to square one of being fearless. Actually, I was born with that quality. And how and why, I just have to blame my previous teachers or previous lives practice. And it's kind of fun, but dangerous. So I just throw a little fine print in there. Keep the Tara practice rolling. She destroys negativity. That's what Tara to Tara means. Her nature is of joy and laughter. Have a great sense of humor, always. She's a distributor of wealth, which is absolutely necessary, and good health. She appears as auspicious beauty, which means my name, Tashi. Auspicious means what's appropriate, what is suitable for spiritual evolution. Her nature is of irresistible truth based on the ultimate nature of your mind, which is truth. What is absolutely true and what is relatively true. Those are your true natures. She has ferocious compassion, which she applies her compassion the same way mothers do. If you're nice, you get whatever you want. And if you're not so nice, you get discipline. Her state of awareness is based on serene peace, beyond nirvanic, which is usually about I, me, mine, heaven. She destroys attachment, which is a very unnecessary emotional quality in the human condition. It's why you take birth. It's called desire. Through her practice, you attain a state of triumphant joy or bliss. She is the transformer of all poisons or obstacles. She's a remover of sadness and sorrow. The 20th app is radiant good health, physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual. And the 21st one is attained a state of complete enlightenment which never dissipates. And when you have these in a mandala form and you're dancing them, it looks like this, a circle of dakinis, human dakini, with one in the middle, usually the teacher, in the four directions. So you have 421 taras in the four directions. And that overcomes the 84,000 afflictions or tendencies of the emotional factors of your mind. Now this section goes on to the 21 praises of Tara and explains all 21 Taras and how they appear and their actual specific activity, what they do when they're in action. So now we start the practice. I'm going to put this text of the white Tara on the front, in front of the stupa, which the stupa we have on this island is a Dakini stupa, and is very special because it has Tara, a big Tara statue behind the stupa in her own little temple. And the way the stupa is formed, it has lotus rings supporting the Buddha image in the door, which makes it earth, water, fire, air as a support for the spatial awareness. Now we start the practice. Visualize the Lama in front, any Lama, Dalai Lama, Lama Tashi, my teacher Lama, Kempa, Lama Sansing, my retreat master, Lama Rinchen, my teacher in Honolulu, Lama Gelson in Maui, Damala in Seattle. She came here and taught us the 21 Taras. Any translators, such as Georgiana Cook, our translator. So the teacher is in front. From the three lights transmission of the teacher's body, speech, and mind, white light comes into your head as the empowerment to be the deity. In this case, we're going to use the two-armed green Tara. Red light comes from the teacher's throat to use the mantra, Om Tara Tatari Turi Su, and the seed syllable Tom, which appears in the center of the mantra. So Om Tara Tutare Ture Soha. Now this is showing them vertically around the Tom, but actually they arranged horizontally this way. The third is blue light, blue light from the Lama's heart center to your heart is the wisdom transmission of you being the Tara, applying it to infinite sentient beings and infinite situations. So you're entering into this dimension of infinite possibilities. Then the three lights of the Lama shine simultaneously. As the body, speech, and mind, three lights enters into your three places, then the Lama melts into you like water into water. So you become the Tara, which is inseparable from the Lama. The Tara is the mother principle of all mother principles and all levels of Dakini energy, which means the activity of the Taras, whether they be peaceful or Dakini. Tara appears in two arms sitting on a lotus sun and moon seeds, which means she's entered into the worldly condition in a human body. On this planet, there are uncountable Taras in human form. She has two arms. The right hand on the right knee and the symbol of generosity, ultimate generosity, applied wherever needed, in any way, shape, or form. Left hand holds the thumb and ring finger of a beautiful, lotus blooming by, multicolored lotus blooming by her left ear, symbolizing loving kindness, unconditional loving kindness, and sincere compassion applied to every living being equally. And she's smiling, young, beautiful, 3 eyes, wisdom eye in her head, 2 eyes, dressed in 5 silks as the symbol of the 5 elements, 6 kinds of jewelry. She's wearing the 6 bodhisattva disciplines. Left leg extended, ready to go into action. Right leg into bodhisattva position of meditation, drawn in. And radiant light of 5 colors emanating in every direction in the same way the sun fills our solar system. So we take all of that and we represent to this tanka. At the very front lower part of the tanka is an empty mirror. And that becomes her backrest. They call it the stainless moon. But what it is your mind without any judgment quality. Everything appears in the mind, but it's non-dual, no subject-object dichotomy. It's applied to the universal situation by showing a sun and moon in the sky and all types of beautiful worldly environment around her. Lakes, oceans, mountains, streams, forests, all of that. And the head, specifically, all thoughts appear without judgment. Whatever appears in the mind is okay. And this state of okayness, infinite okayness, is applied to everything. So when the Lama melts into you, become green tar, then you see your mother in front as green tar, life-size, mirror-like image. Then you project it to your father and all your relatives, then all your friends and enemies, lovers, the entire human race on the planet today, 8 billion humans, then all your pets and all the animals in the ocean and on the land as Tara. Then you go to the infinite dimensions of your own mind and include all the spirit world that fills space, everywhere in this universe, in everything, are spirits. And all of these spirits, animals, sentient beings appeared first in the human condition and will again be liberated through the human condition. And we start with the mantra of Tara. Once your mind is filled with this mandala of sentient beings as Tara, the C-syllable Tom in your heart center sums up to all 5 elements as one thing, one energy program. Tom looks like a letter 5, green in color, thick with a sphere, tiny sphere above it, in a circle of 5-colored light right in the center of your heart, about the size of your thumbnail. From this altruistic compassion, loving kindness, power, and insight are the mantra. Om Tara. Tu Tare means swiftly accomplishing. Ture, whatever is appropriate. Soha, for everyone, always expanding, no limit, no goal, always in place, timeless. Om, the infinite life support energy of the universe, entering into you is Tara. Tara, powerful wisdom mother bodhisattva. Tutare, swiftly accomplishing Ture, whatever is appropriate, Soha for all being. Timeless. Om Tara Tutare Ture Soha. 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 Om The bell calls the Tara. The Dorje calls the 5 Buddha families and the 5 elemental Dakinis of all levels. These two together combine into your visualization as Tara to benefit limitless sentient being. Your mother, your support. Om Tara Tutare Ture Soha. 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 Now we said one round of 108 Tara mantra. Now we have 999,000 more to go. So that's 999 more rounds using the mala. This time-consuming use of the mantra with the seed-soluble tong is to bring all of the elemental energy of the mother principle of creation into your situation, which is absolutely necessary for attaining excellent good health. Physically, mentally, emotionally, and ultimately spiritual. Om Tara Tu Tare Tu Re So Ha. And that's the way they chant it at the Tara dance, when they do the dance. Now, the first round that we did was the green Tara, which brings all the prana energy of the air element into our situation for our good health. And then we send it out by projecting the Tara to limitless sentient beings, animals, humans, and spirits, all of who are transformed into Tara. And this Bodhisattva accomplishment in your mind alone accomplishes the first level of joy and bliss on the path of the Bodhisattva, which, even though it has 10 levels, they correspond to the 10, what we call Bodhisattva training practices, and then the 4 levels using the deity of the Tara, which is the first level of the deity, then the second level of the activity of the deity, then the third level of aspirations and other moon-long prayers of what to do with that. And the 10th level is to be able to apply this without any time element, so that timeless awareness starts to pervade your stream of being. It's no longer a concern. And when that starts to take place, night and day equal. Past, present, and future equal. So we're going to do the second round of Tara as the Earth Tara. She is golden color. Her seed syllable is long. And she holds a treasure vase in her right hand. Left hand, same with the gold mala, gold lotus by her left ear, symbolizing excellent physical good health, applied to everything and everyone. Om Tara Tu Tare Ture Long Chom Soha. 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 Lam is her seed syllable, golden color. Chom is the accomplishment of equanimity, everything equal, one taste. With the mantra Om Tar Chitari Turi Long Chom Soha. 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 Lam looks like a 21 with a dot over it, golden color in your heart center. Om Tar Titari Turi Long Chom Soha. Om Tar Titari Turi Long Chom Soha. Om Tar Titari Turi Long Chom Soha. Om Tar Titari Turi Soha. Long Chom Soha. Om Tar Titari Turi Soha. Long Chom Soha. Om Tar Titari Turi Long Chom Soha. Om Tar Titari Turi Long Chom Soha. Om Tar Titari Turi Long Chom Soha. Om Tar Titari Long Chom Soha. Om Tar Titari Turi 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 Long Chom Soha. Om Tar Titari Tari Tari. Lam Cham Soa, Tari Tari Tari, Lam Cham Soa. Om Tari Tari Tari, Lam Cham Soa, Tari Tari Tari, Lam Cham Soa. Om Tari Tari Tari, Lam Cham Soa, Tari Tari Tari, Lam Cham Soa, Tari Tari Tari, Lam Cham Soa, Tari Tari Tari, Lam Cham Soa. Om Tari Tari Tari, Lam Cham Soa, Tari Tari Tari. Lam Cham Soha. Then the Lam turns into the Tram. They merge together. The five-color sphere of light disappears into those two sounds, and they disappear into the vibration of this being universally applied. All the six realms of emotional rebirth transformed into Bodhisattva training ground. Dewa Chen. Rest in the spatial awareness of your own natural mind, transformed into non-judgmental bliss. Then you reappear as the Tara. This time we move to the third Tara of the water element, which is, she's blue in color. Her seed syllable is Mam and Hum. The Mam symbolizes the universal application for healing applied to this element and this color code. The Hung is infinite application of all of the healing energy, of all of the transmission through any Lama of Tibetan Buddhism. It is called mirror-like awareness, and it is the natural state of your mind as an antidote to the judgment call of good or bad, high or low. Which causes you to become, have aversion, which escalates into anger, hatred, rage, abuse, an abusive nature. So this Tara is the antidote for that. The green Tara was the antidote for jealousy, which is Bodhisattva training's basic format. Transform that into its opposite. The gold Tara is an antidote to pride, arrogance, which causes rebirth can cause birth in the celestial realm, or worse. So now we do the 100 Taras, blue in color, seed syllable Mam and Hum together in the heart chakra. The mantra is Om Tara Tutari Turi Mam Hum Soha, universally applied to all sentient beings as blue Tara. A blue lotus by her left ear, and the right hand holding an empty mirror, symbolizing non-judgmental mind. Om Tar Tutari Turi Mam Hum Soha. 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 This mantra turns all anger into loving kindness for everyone. Om Tar Tutari Turi Mam Hum Soha. Om Tar Tutari Turi Mam Hum Soha. Unconditional love. Om Tar Tutari Turi Mam Hum Soha. 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 The Mom and the Hum come together in your heart chakra in a 5-color sphere of light and disappear into space. Every sentient being in your mandala does exactly the same thing you're doing. In spatial awareness, you relax in the present moment in a state of bliss without any aversion to anything. Then you move out of the accomplishment stage of tantric practice and create the fourth Tara. We've used the air element, the earth element, the water element, and now we use the fire element. Red Tara, her sea salt was Ram and Free. Ram is the fire element's healing properties, universally applied, physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, and Free is the discerning awareness of your natural mind without judgment is infinitely more appropriate than your drama mind, your relative state of awareness. So you create yourself, imagine yourself as red Tara, all beings in your mandala infinite number, red Tara, those two seed syllables in your heart chakra, circled by overlapping, symbolize the five-colored sphere of light about the size of your thumbnail. The mantra rotating counterclockwise around. Om Tara Tutari Turi Ram Hri Soha 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 Om Tara Tutari Turi Om Tara Tutari Turi Ram Hri Soha 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 Om Tara Tutari Turi Tutari Turi Ram Hri Soha Om Tara 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 Tutari Turi Soha Om Tara Tutari Turi Ram Hri 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 Soha Then, as before, we move into the accomplishment stage by merging the two seed levels, Ram into the Shri, into the state of infinite light. And we rest in spatial awareness in the present moment as the infinite light of our own true nature to every sentient being, every state of existence, where there is any form of pain or suffering, transformed into Buddha nature, ultimate awareness, Mahamudra. Relax, be present, no meditation, timeless bliss. And then we move from the accumulation of the natural mind to the white Tara of space, the mother principle of universal awareness, unconditionally applied equally to every sentient being. And whatever we do in these practices, equally applied to every being, regardless of their tendencies. And when the white Tara appears as your yidam, the rainbow body transforms all appearances, all thoughts, into the spatial awareness of the energy of light. She is white in color, her seed syllable is Vam and Om. Om symbolizes the light force energy of the universe applied to every aspect of your being and given in healing practice to all sentient beings universally, timelessly. The spatial awareness natural mind is called Mahamudra. However it's depicted with deities, it's equally applied to every deity. The creation of the deity is applied according to the symptomatic and causal application for healing. But the universal application of the seed syllable Om simply means ultimate awareness, timelessly applied. No ceiling, no limit, no boundary, no duality fixation, no subject, no object. And so when you're the white Tara of space, she is called the Tara of long life and has many mantras. But tonight we use the simple mantra Om Tara Tutari Turi Vam Om Soha. Vam is the sound of space. Vam in Sanskrit. Om Tara Tutari Vam Om Soha. Om Tara Tutari Turi 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 Vam Om Soha. Those three syllables are white in color. The lotus by your left ear is white, and every Tara rainbow body in your mandala, white in color, and equally applied as the antidote to ignorance, stupidity, bewilderment, not knowing, dualistic fixation, and any other form of delusion. Om Tara Tutari Turi Vam Om Soha. 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 Om Tara Tutari 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 Turi 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 Vam Om Soha. Om Tara Tutari Om Tara Tutari Vam Om Soha. Tutari Vam Om Soha. Om Tara Tutari Vam Om Soha. Vam Om Soha. Tara Tutari Turi Vam Om Soha. Tutari Vam Om Soha. Om Tara Tutari Turi Vam Om Soha. Om Tara Tutari Turi Vam Om Soha. Om Tara Tutari Turi Vam Om Soha. Now we call all the Dakini energy with the bell and small dorje, damaru, drum, of both the peaceful and protector or Dakini energy of all the levels of Dakini, celestial, demigod, elemental, human, and spirit. Om tar titari turi so, om tar titari turi so, om tar titari turi so. And the Vam and the Om and all the white tars in your mandala symbolizes the 5 tars with their 21 aspects. All of that energy program in your mandala dissolves into you as the central Tara, green Tara, with the Tom. Then you dissolve into all the mantra sounds in your heart center, and they all disappear into the green Tom, in a 5-colored sphere of light that expands to the totality of space. Be present and contemplate space. This evolves into the Dharmakaya nature of your own natural mind. As bliss energy equal to the energy of the entire universe, life support system. Be alert and present. In Mahamudra. Arise as the deity and do the dedication prayer. KYD Nudu Da, Chagya Champo Drugyarne, Joa Chinking Malupa, Deity Sala Gopar Sho, Sanjay Kusum Dempai Jimla Dam, Choni Magar Dempai Jimla Dam, Hindu Miche Dumpai Jimla Ki, Chitar Goma Momam Drupar Sho. By this virtue, having realized Mahamudra, may I quickly establish all beings without a single exception at this state of awareness. By the blessings of the three bodies of the Buddha being accomplished, by the blessing of the truth of the Dharma itself being unchanging, and by the blessing of the wishes of us, the Sangha, being unwavering, may this dedication prayer be fulfilled. May all the lamas have long life, good health, happiness, and prosperity. May all their wishes be fulfilled. May all beings be free of pain and suffering. May all beings be established in bliss and equanimity. And may all beings be happy and attain their appropriate wishes. Mahalo, Duchiche, thank you, and aloha.